Hello and welcome back to Assetto. Today I want to talk about something different. I want to show you a bit more cars in one video. And how about a better way than to show you a top 10 of the best clusters that are out there right now. So we've reviewed quite a few cars on my channel, and what I always find a very important detail is the center cluster. It shows the speed, the gear you're in, the odometer, the map, well, everything you have nowadays, especially with the digital clusters in the cars. For example, now we are driving the MNBA Ferrari SF90 from 2021. Beautiful car, very well done. And this one has, for example, a beautiful cluster within the middle. The rev counter, you can see the speed, the gears. On the right you have the GeForce meter. It's just also done perfectly, and as it is in real life. But I had to choose out of 10 cars which I found worth it to show you in this video. Number 10, we have the 2012 Ferrari F12 TDF from MNBA as well. What I like about this card is it has in the center you have the rev counter as it is in real life. But on the side you can actually change the screen how you would like them and how they are in real life as well. For example, you can just have the F12 logo on the side. You can have the map where you are, of course, where you're driving. You can have the speed. You can have the details of the car, for example the fuel, the odometer, well, everything you want, and you can change them all manually. And that's one thing I really like about this car. Number 9, we have the 2021 Ferrari Roma. Another Ferrari, but this one is really nice as well. I've reviewed this one quite a while ago, but I thought it was worth mentioning it anyway. This one has a beautiful custom screen, which is of course as done as it is in real life. The screen is a digital screen, and in the center you have of course the rev counter, which is a bit similar to the Ferrari SF90 as we're driving right now. I really like this screen as it is just different than the other ones out there. Number 8, the 2018 Mclaren Senna. The Senna, I always really like this mod as it is a really well done mod. It is a blast to drive this car. There's so many great features, but why I especially wanted to talk about this car is of course the cluster. The cluster is a bit different than the other ones as there's two different options. The normal mode, well, the normal driving mode, you have the one as you're seeing right now. It's more of a normal cluster with the speed, the rev counter, all the details you want, everything you need to drive normally. Then, as in a lot of cars, you have the race mode. So when you push the extra button, you have the race mode, and then the screen not just changes, but it actually switches to a whole different screen, which is really unique. It is of course as it is in real life as well, that it rotates to a different screen, but I think it's an amazing feature. And with this feature you of course are more focused on the driving, on the racing you're doing, as you're only seeing the rev counter and the gear you're in. It just amazes me that they've done this in the mod and in the game as well. Number 7, the 2023 BMW CSL. This car I did a review about a couple of weeks ago as well, and it's just a blast to drive as well. This is of course a bit less race focused in my opinion. Well, it is race focused as well, but not of course as much as the Mclaren Senna, but it is a great car to drive as well. I really like to drift around this with it, as you could see in my video, of course. Why I wanted to talk about this car is this one has again a different option than a lot of cars, as this one has a heads-up display as well. I really like the cluster itself. You can change the cluster from the normal driving mode to the race mode, as a lot of different cars, but you can turn the heads-up display on and off as well. I'm not the biggest fan of the heads-up display in the game anyway. Real life, not either, if I'm being honest. But in the game, it's a really nice feature, as you can turn it on and off manually, and you can change the cluster to normal or racing mode manually as well. Number 6, the 2016 Dodge Viper ACR. Fantastic car. It's a manual, which I definitely love. It's a blast to drive this car as well. It's a bit of an older mod. It's made by ACR as well. And I say as well because the car is called ACR, so it's a bit of a coincidence. But anyway, it's a great mod, fantastic car. Few small details I really like about this. For example, when you brake, the logo on the back lights up. It's a bit of a childish thing, but let's be honest, supercars are supposed to be a bit childish sometimes, as they are just, well, especially this one. It's so fantastic looking. But what I really like about this car is the cluster once again. The feature I want to talk about is when you have the rev counter in the center, and when it's time to change gear, it actually lights up in red with the logo in the center. I haven't seen this with any other car, and it's such a small but amazing detail. It is, again, is in real life as well, but it's just fantastic to see that they've implemented this into the mod. Number 5, the 2020 AMG Black Series. I was actually thinking to compare it a little bit to the Porsche GT3 RS, as it is just such a track focused car. Really cool car, but the cluster is really cool as well. The cluster is really cool as you can change it to, once again, to a normal or race mode with where you can see the rev counter. What I really like about this cluster is that you actually can change the media center as well, the screen on the right, that it shows the power that you're using currently. So it's a really cool detail, and when you're really hammering down the car, it's a really nice detail to see. Number 4, spoiler alert, review coming up soon. It's the 2022 SL65. It's a beautiful car, again a Mercedes, as the previous one was a Mercedes-Benz as well. But this is a really cool car to cruise around in and to race as well in. It's not really a race focused car, but it's a really nice car to drive around with. It's a nice convertible, really detailed, very well done mod by Ceky Performance. And of course we have to talk about the cluster for this video. And this cluster, why I wanted to mention this car in this top 10 is as it is the 2023 version of the car, and the cluster is actually how it is in 2023, or how it will be in 2023 as well. Very nice, very detailed, beautiful center screen. Of course, there's some updates coming up for this car as this really early release, but it's a really cool feature to see for this car. Number 3, the 2019 Lamborghini SVJ. Ridiculous car, it's such a fantastic mod. It's so loud, it's so cool. 3 versions of it. I've done a review about it already, so I'm not gonna talk too much about it. But the cluster, well, there are a lot of Lamborghinis already out there. Of course, in the base game we have the Huracan, as well the Performante, which is a very detailed car, and I think in the base game the best mod there is. But for this one, the SVJ, it's even more detailed than it is as in the base game. You have, for example, you have the GeForce meter on the left, and you have this small Lamborghini model, as you can see it in the rev counter, and above a certain speed it actually shows you the arrow that is using, or the arrow that is adjusting to make the car more, well, aerodynamic. It is a really cool feature that they implemented it into this mod as well. We've come to the number 2 of this list. The number 2 is the 2011 Lexus LFA. One of my favorite clusters out of all cars, to be honest. This one, as quite a few other mods, has just 2 options, normal and race mode. When you switch to race mode, it shows you this beautiful cluster with all the correct lighting as it is in real life as well. And it even makes a sound when you're ready to change a gear. It changes colors as you can see them at the moment, and it's just so fantastic. I don't know how to describe it. It's just a beautiful cluster. Of course, again, as in real life. Number one of this list. It's a fantastic car, one of my favorite cars. It's such a cool car. I can't name a cooler car than this. Better backstory, a car that's based off a fighter jet. So well, what's more cool about that? The 2008 Lamborghini Reventon. I also made a video about this car a couple of weeks ago, and it's very cool car. It's still early access, so there's still some things that will be changed. But one thing that won't be changed a lot is the cluster. The cluster is perfect already, as it is in real life as well. You have the normal mode and then you have the race mode. The race mode is fighter jet focused as well. The rev counter and the speedometer, they move up and down when you change gear. You see it changes, the line all changes. The speed, you can see it moving up and down as well in the cluster. All is so cool. Of course, the GeForce, once again, the GeForce meter is working as well. And overall, one of the most beautiful, probably one of the most complicated clusters I've seen in this game and in real life as well. That's it. That's my top 10 for the moment. If you know any other cars, please let me know down in the comments. I will link all the cars down in the description, so if you want to check them out, most of them are free anyway. You can see them down in the description below. If you want to see some other videos, please check them out. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one. Bye.